What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I want to cover the Erislandy Lara versus Brian Castaño fight. This fight was a good fight. It was a back and forth fight to me. Um, to set the stage, you had Erislandy Lara coming in with a 74, 75 inch reach, 5'9". Castaño coming in at 5'8". You know, he had shorter arms, but he was more. He was the younger, fresher fighter. 15-0, 10 knockouts, and he was looking to make a statement. And it was a good fight. I think in spots, Brian Castaño was able to get in the some quick, effective punches, even when the punches weren't effective. Even when they were ineffective, he was able to implement attack. He had the shorter arms. He had quick hands. He used what I like. I like to see what he did because a lot of times when Lara, if you get too close to Lara, because Lara needs distance to throw. He has long arms. He can't do anything about that. And that might affect the reason why he's not a really good inside fighter on top of being Cuban, because Cubans really don't go for inside fighting. They didn't learn that style because they never needed to. They like it's a cat and mouse style. They bait you in, wait for you to overcommit, and then counter you. Okay. And then with the rest, they're coming with either the right jab, because most Cubans are left-handed. If you look at the left-handed fighters, that's basically what you have. But inside fighting, they're not really known for. You know what I mean? Rigendau, Erislandy Lara, Rances Bartolome. All these guys are right-handed fighters. You know what I mean? I mean, left-handed fighters. So, these guys don't. Now, Rances, he does fight inside. He does, he brings, some a different plan of attack when he's fighting. But mostly like Joel Casamayor, those guys like that, and Joel was a good fighter, so I don't want to take anything away from Joel, but his thing is to keep you at bay, to keep the distance so he can set up his own shots. And that's what Lara did in spots. I think, honestly, at 35 years of age, Lara has missed a step. I seen it last night. He's still game, because that shows how much skill he had initially, but he's missed a step. I don't know about steps, plural, but I know something is missing from the Hurd fight, from the time he fought Hurd. And I seen it in the Hurd fight. See, that inability or that desire not to be mobile like he was, I don't think that comes from criticism. I don't think that he's doing that for the fans. I think that he's tired of doing that shit. He doesn't have the energy anymore. You know what I mean? He's not that same elusive guy like he used to be. He could move around like Floyd if he wanted to, at a certain point of his career. That same guy that fought Canelo Alvarez or even Angulo, that Lara's gone. That Lara's no more. This Lara is more stable. He's more stationary. And what's bad about it, he doesn't get his shots off because he's more stable. Because his punches come from you coming at him trying to cut off the ring, or coming straight in and getting caught with that left hand. And he's good at anticipating that because he knows you're coming, because he has you chasing him. Not because he's running. He wants you to chase him. See, he's no longer doing that. In this fight, he tried to create distance in spots, but he couldn't do that because of the amount of punches that were coming at him from Brian. Castaño knew that I have the shorter arms. I'm not going to beat this guy at a certain distance. I have to get inside and work. So when he did come inside, he did throw volumes of punches, and he did somewhat of like Angulo, but Angulo worked the body, like Jared Hurd worked the body. He should have worked the body more. That would have got him, even Carlos Medina, he worked the body, right? That's what got Lara off his game plan, because you're coming right at his midsection most of the fight, the bulk of the fight. So that what bothered Lara. Brian Castaños tried to throw punches, and he got in. He threw punches, but Lara just puts his mitts up. And Lara's so slick, he really didn't have a lot of head movement. You know what I mean? Because he's so good at keeping distance that there's no need to use your head if my reach is 75 inches and I can reach out and touch you and you can't touch me back. You know what I mean? And plus, I'm going to use lateral movement, so there's no need for me to, bob and weave. You know what I mean? Like Floyd could do both. You know what I'm saying? But the fight was interesting because since Lara was more stationary, he's not an inside fighter, so that left all the opportunity when he got at mid range with Lara to throw those punches at will, because Lara really wasn't fighting back because he's not an inside fighter. That's not his fight. So he knew that. So it was a good game plan on Castaño's team to keep the pressure on Lara. You pressure fight a pure boxer, and that's what Lara does. And now he's a slower, more stationary pure boxer. So knowing that, that's exactly what he had to do in that fight. So it was a very interesting fight. Lara did hit him with the cleaner punches when he had his advantage outside. Brian did throw a lot of punches. They weren't hard punches, but they did connect. They were inside punches. They actually did something to his skin because they had Lara swelling on his right side of his face, up under his eye. You know what I mean? This area right here. Castaño looked like he had a little abrasion, I guess, taking those jabs. But I will say this about Lara. If Lara was a volume puncher like Amir Khan, or better yet, Paul Williams, he would be fucking incredible. Because, because he's the guy he's hard to hit. Him, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, those guys that are slick fighters. They are one of the less hit people in the business. And the funny thing about that, the irony of watching boxing and watching, fantastic, fun-filled, exciting fights, is to see people go toe-to-toe, to see people take punches, to see people deliver punches. You know what I mean? To see the action. But in the long haul, you look at these people that gave all the fans the excitement, that left everything in the ring. They're not really, their quality of life ain't really what it used to be. There's exceptions to the rule. You look at guys like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Roberto Duran. He's okay. He's not, you know what I mean? He's nothing like Wilfredo, Benitez, God willing. He's nothing like that. Floyd Mayweather. Now, Pernell Whitaker, he's kind of punch drunk at this point. He took a lot of fights, though, and he was one of the pioneers of the game that was able to be slick, and people didn't like that style, especially coming from a southpaw stance. Anyway, those are the fighters that have a better quality of life. They can live their life after boxing, like you and me, that can speak without slurring. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't have that syndrome from getting hit in the head too many times. So, of course, boxing is the sport that I love, that I hate so much. And that's one of the other reasons because of that. But anyway, Lara and Castaño, they fought to a draw, which I'm not totally against it because it could have been worse. I feel a lot of fights could have been draws and that weren't. You know what I mean? So the Lara Canelo fight could have been a draw. That should have been a draw. A lot of people think, well, that was a draw, really. They fought to a draw. But De La Hoya, just did a video about that. Didn't want that to be ran back whatsoever. Never, ever again. So, but I mean, a lot of people like Terrence Bud Crawford has went out to say, hey, I think that Lara won and he was robbed again. So Lara, just like Pernell Whitaker, will always be that guy that has controversial decisions. But I believe Lara is based on his style. I think his style is effective, but at the same time, it's incomplete. And I'm a Lara fan. Don't get me wrong. I like Lara. But his style has kinks in the armor. When a guy gets mid-range with you, you have to learn head movement, not just put your mitts up and let this guy attack you at will. And that's what a lot of times, a lot of fighters done to Erislandy Lara. And he allowed that to happen because that was his defensive style. You have to do more than that. You You have to see, okay, where is these punches coming from? Is there an opportunity while this fighter is throwing these punches for me to throw my own? You know what I'm saying? That's where the inside fighting comes in, the slickness and the uppercut and, counter punches. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing that Lara lacks. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And because Brian Castaño, you didn't want to just give him a one because, he's a up and coming fighter. Lara was still a good enough to make an account of himself at 35 years of age. I think that it was a good fight, a good entertaining fight. Lara, again, landed the best punches, but I think Brian Castaño landed more punches and implemented his game plan a lot more than Lara did. But Lara was able in spots to do what he does. So anyway, no, I'm not totally against a draw. I think that because of the effective punching from Lara, he won by one round to me. There was no knockdowns or anything like that to go off of. So I think that he did. But calling a draw, no, I'm not heavily upset about it. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about the Erislandy Lara versus Brian Castaño fight. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.